America is facing down a revolution. Because we're not in a fight right now between two different ways that we might take the country. No, the fight that we are in is a fight between people who want to destroy the country and make a new one, and people who love America and want to defend her. The core idea driving the revolution is called systemic racism. That's the ridiculous theory that America was founded on a lie, that it was never designed to produce and protect freedom or equality. According to this idea of systemic racism, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are just the first in a long line of hypocritical, disingenuous scams designed to proclaim lofty ideals about justice and truth and liberty, while secretly perpetuating bigotry and keeping Black people down. Here's how Nicole Hannah-Jones, author of the New York Times' absurd 1619 Project, has put it. Anti-Black racism runs in the very DNA of America. Now, if you believe that, if you believe that America as a system is racist, that means you think the country itself is evil. The people who believe this don't just think that America has high and lofty ideals which have been abused, or that we've failed to live up to. That's what normal, rational people all over the country already believe. Everybody knows that that's true. But people who believe in systemic racism, no matter how they protest to the contrary, believe that the evils America did were the result of America's fundamental systems. By definition, they think that the racism was the point of the Constitution, of the Declaration, of the founding of the country. The way that one representative of the Black Lives Matter movement put it is this: if the country doesn't give us what we want, we are going to burn down this system and replace it. When George Floyd was killed, BLM led a series of protests that quickly became violent. Many well-meaning Americans gave those protests the benefit of the doubt at first. Some of us still are, mistakenly. Because over the past few months, what we've seen is arson, looting, and wanton violence against police officers like David Dorn and Claudia Apolinar, all in the name of an anti-cop agenda that the vast majority of Black people oppose. We've watched BLM tear down statues, not just of Confederate soldiers, but of America's greatest heroes, from Abraham Lincoln to George Washington and Christopher Columbus. This is a philosophy that is reaching its natural conclusion. This is not a movement of the people. It is not a movement of the oppressed. It is not an uprising of those who have long been downtrodden. It claims to be all those things. But this revolution is run by the most powerful, credentialed, and wealthy people in the country. The Black Lives Matter organization is run by people with PhDs, people like BLM co-founder and self-described trained Marxist Patrisse Cullors, who know exactly what they're doing. The systemic racism ideology is preached across the country by university professors like Boston University's Ibram X. Kendi, who recently received $10 million from the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, to pursue his aims. This is an elite revolution. It's an attempt by an oligarchy to overthrow our republic. Now, Joe Biden, even if he represents himself as some sort of moderate, has repeated the systemic racism mantra over and over again. Never forget that he has even offered a plan to root out America's inherent evil of systemic racism. No matter how moderate or reasonable he may claim to be, and even though he probably doesn't understand the implications of everything he's saying, Biden is obeying people who think the country is evil and needs to be unmade. The former Black Panther, Angela Davis, said that she supports Biden because she thinks he can be most effectively pressured into granting her demands. Biden's own running mate, Kamala Harris, has said with that creepy grin on her face that BLM protesters are not going to let up, and they should not. Behind Biden and Harris stands House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who said in June that she doesn't know why there aren't uprisings all over the country about American immigration policy. Then there's Democrats like Ayanna Pressley, who said there needs to be a riot in the street to oppose Trump. These are not fringe cranks. These are not people sitting in their basement muttering into their computers. This is the leadership of the Democratic Party, and they are running for the presidency on a platform of revolution. It doesn't matter what they say to protest to the contrary. That is what they are doing. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I know what side I want to be on. God bless you, and God bless America.